I'd like to share a story about the realities of crossing the American-Canadian border, US-Canadian, I should say, in these interesting COVID times. So I am a dual citizen of both countries, Canada and the US, and normally I cross the border quite often to visit family and for work. And no problem, normally. Well, I'm currently in the States, and I wanted to go up to Canada to go camping. And I knew that they were going to ask at the border about my quarantine plans. So Canada has a requirement that everyone coming into Canada at the moment has to have a 14-day self-quarantine, no contact with anyone else, and they are pretty strict about it apparently. Like, they'll take down your information, they'll call and check up on you, and potentially even stop and see you where you are quarantining at. Well, okay, so I came up to the border. I told them, all right, my quarantine plan is to go boondocking, off the grid, camping in my Sprinter van for 2 weeks. Turns out camping is not allowed as a quarantine plan at all. So even if I were to give them my location that I'm going to be at, my GPS location, or my whatever road address that I'm planning to be in, some forestry road backwoods, they would not allow that. So they said, okay, well, you go have a seat, and we're going to go in the back room and we're going to talk for a little bit and see what we can do. See if we can figure out an alternative for you. So I sat and I waited and I waited, and they finally reappeared, and they said, hey, all right, good news. We can offer you that you can stay in a Canadian federal quarantine site in Calgary, which is a decent hotel. We'll give you a room. We'll feed you for free. It's all free for 2 weeks. And thus you can meet the requirements of the quarantine. The thing is that I would not be allowed to leave my hotel room for 2 weeks, except for twice a day going for a walk. My movements would all be monitored. So I'm like, it's not that important for me to be up in Canada right now. I think I might just go back into the States. And they said, sure, that's fine. One of the border guards is actually, he also has a converted cargo van that he uses for camping. And so he understood. He was really, really interested and supportive. And they were very polite, as Canadians tend to be. So, so I've turned around. I've crossed the border, coming back into the US, and I'm going to figure out a plan for the next while. We'll just see how things pan out and whether Canada decides to drop its quarantine requirement to some stage. It seems like it could be there for a while, but there's nothing I can do. But the good thing is that I don't have anywhere urgent to go, and my house is right here. I have my Sprinter van that I can sleep in, travel in, cook in, almost everything. So that's the plan. Interesting times we live in.